when you do compose on your own, do you warm up with something special, or I mean, tell me about Debra Davis's composing process.
You know, it's really kind of, it sounds cliche, but it is sort of divine intervention most of the time for me. Like I'm always humming some sort of tune, or a lot of the times it's, if I'm listening to other music that's inspirational to me, I'll think of a melody idea in my head, and I'll go run over to the piano or the guitar or whatever's nearby. Or a lot of the times I have a tape recorder in the car, and I'll sing the melody. I usually come up with a melody idea or a lyric idea first, and putting the chords underneath it kind of comes last for me. So that I don't start out with any kind of progression or anything, but it's really a melody in my head. It always kind of starts with a melody, and it just kind of comes.
That's mystical to someone like me. It is like magic.
It is, and and I know there are people, and I have had songwriting sessions with other songwriters, and sat down and said, let's write a song. And sometimes it totally happens, and other times it feels like, I just can't get it going. Can't get it into gear because it's not inspired, But then I've written some songs for this children's young girls book series called Avalon that they're making into a film. They're working on that. And some of those I wrote for specific themes in the book, and I can do that because I just think of ideas.
How young were you when you first showed an interest in music?
Oh, wow. Well, my mom tells me that from like age 2 on, I was always, singing in the living room and putting on little shows, and I don't remember that part, but I do remember singing for her company party when I was 5, singing Edelweiss from The Sound of Music. And it's great because my daughter, who's 5, is doing the exact same thing. She has a complete proclivity toward that. So I was doing it just from a really young age and putting on shows in the living room and charging a quarter to the neighbors.
I love that.
Yeah. She said I stood at the door and took the money, and then I just sing songs, and I know I did Life is a Cow Parade instead of cabaret. And my mom said, it's cabaret, honey. No, it's not. It's cow parade. So,
I love that.
Anyway, so very young.
Did you know when you wanted to play an instrument? Was that like something you naturally grew to?
Yeah, I started taking, this is Gracie, I started taking piano lessons at about 7, a little before age 7, and took for about 8 years, 10 years, and then took up guitar at about age 9 or 10. I'd say 10. I think I was about 10. And took that on and off. I mainly started writing songs and doing my own thing as a teenager. So I wish I would have studied both instruments a little bit more, but I was into making up my own parts and my own picking patterns and whatever.
It sounds like there was a lot of music in your home when you were growing up, or were you kind of the lone musical person?
They played records and everything, and she said I was just really would gravitate toward the record player, and I'm dating myself. I mean the CD player.
The Victrola.
The Victrola, right. Anyway, and so it was kind of there. Yeah, I mean, they really supported it, though. Immediately, got me in dance lessons and music lessons, and I joined all the choirs. So they were very. It was nature and nurture.
Was there someone who really started you thinking about doing what you love for a living? How young were you? Because that's a big step.
Right out of high school, I got a job at a place called Baxter Street Dinner Theater in Newport Beach, and I just went and auditioned. My mom forced me to do it. I was scared to death, and sang and danced and made, $5 an hour singing and tips. But it was really fun, and I was just hooked, and I thought, well, gee, I can make a living. And then, you do the cruise ship. I sang at Disneyland. I was in vocal jazz groups on the Queen Mary and wrote all the harmony parts for it. And so they were all nothing that you would make a great living at. It's better as a songwriter with publishing and stuff. But all those things encouraged me to stay on that path. Although I did go to college and get my degree, but I just kept going toward music, and yeah, I mean, I got a lot of encouragement from different areas, family and then people in the industry.
But it was really you. You were kind of your own driving force, it sounds like.
I think so.
Yeah. Defining yourself as a singer, a songwriter, a band leader, and a guitarist, how did you see yourself back then, in those days that we were just talking about, as opposed to how you see yourself now? Is there a big difference, or does it feel pretty much the same?
I think it kind of feels the same, but I just feel really comfortable with kind of orchestrating the whole thing and getting everybody together and trying out new songs, and I know, and the songs I've been singing for several years now, so everybody feels really at home with the music, and I think that's a good part of it. But I also just am a little more seasoned at performing than in the beginning.
Does anything, let's say, other than the birth of your beautiful daughter, stand out as a benchmark over the last few years as a special event or achievement for you?
Getting a lot of songs in TV and film has really helped me stay in the game and help my career. And I mean, I don't tour. I was traveling quite a bit to support the CDs and the distribution and doing radio shows and morning shows. And I haven't done that much since Ella. A little bit, but not as much. It's just not possible. So, getting the songs in Dawson's Creek and a lot of those Lifetime movies has really helped a lot, and I'm trying to get even more of that. I'd say that, and I mean, there's been a lot of good gigs. I did some dates opening for Christopher Cross, who my husband's playing with, and that was really fun, and he's been really supportive of my music. And
you did a duet.
We did, on the new record, yeah, which was very nice of him, and he sounds great on it. Born to Love You, another Ella song.
Of course. Do you have a lot of interaction with your fan base?
Yeah, there's interaction, and on MySpace, there's people kind of doing the street team thing and that kind of thing.
Can you give us a hint of what's next for you and your band of Gulf?
I'm really just trying to keep it going with the TV and film thing, because I'm concentrating more in the publishing area. Although I love to play live, and we're recording new songs for a couple of records. I have a couple concept album ideas. That's about it, really. Just kind of more of the same. Just keeping the engine going.
We can always find out where you are by looking at your MySpace.
MySpace it's MySpace Debra Davis Music, and then I have DebraDavis.com and MusicForMoms.com. It's everywhere. It's on iTunes, Amazon, all those.